Hello everybody and welcome to qualifying for the sprint race here at the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. The reason I say Barcelona is because that's where we're all wishing we are right now. The rain is coming down massively. The start of the session is delayed indefinitely as well. So there's a lot of water out there. We're a few moments away from the world feed. Apologies for the delay in coming on air, but because we know we've got a delay and to save all our voices, we are going to have a dual situation where we're going to show you yesterday's qualifying highlights as well to begin with, as Omi has very kindly highlighted, and they're on JB Motorsports 2 as well. And we'll just go from there really and see what's going on. But we've got a couple of minutes before the world feed starts. Josh T and Omi. Omi, starting with you. It was starting to rain at the start of Formula 3 around about half an hour ago, and now it's really coming down again.
Oh yeah, it absolutely is starting to come down. And yeah, the sprint shootout obviously, understandably, will be delayed. It started raining quite a bit as soon as the F3 sprint podium ended. It also started raining in the final few laps. We had a chaotic Formula 3 sprint. No drivers get points from there, from that race. But here in Formula 1, the rain is looks like we are going to be getting a delay because of the rain, and the rain might ease off at some point and then we might be able to get going, but for now it seems like we're going to be in a bit of a delay period.
It all is looking very unlucky, Josh T, isn't it? We just keep losing out. SQ1 only 12 minutes. If we can't run this session, I suppose we could always do what we thought about and take the results from yesterday's qualifying for today's. We've had a qualifying.
Yep, we have had a qualifying, and that's let's change that. As soon as I open OBS, I get the beautiful sound of the stream ending music, getting ready for FP2 later on, and checking everything's okay after everything went crazy. But we could do that, and they might.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Right, here it comes then. We are delayed here indefinitely for the sprint race. It's going to be quite the entertainment. We understand that TweetDeck isn't working, but it's just the holding screen. SQ1 is coming up, but they're not showing the world feed, which is very interesting to me. So what are Sky up to? They should be showing the introduction music, because that's still coming on at in around about 8 seconds time. So as always, Sky are doing their own thing, and 9 times out of 10 getting it wrong. So I'm going to ask a very long question to Omi to sum up why we don't have any points in Formula 3. Why go grab a lead? Over to you, Omi.
Well, for Formula 3, we weren't able to complete. So in the regulations, which once again a lot of us didn't have a clue about, but we didn't complete 2 laps without any safety cars or virtual safety cars having a intervention. So we weren't able to have 2 laps of full green flag running at all. And in the regulations, if we aren't able to have 2 laps of full green flag running, it does mean that we aren't then able to count the results. So the first time we have seen it, but it is sadly how it goes as well. But we are hoping that I've seen on Twitter that the rule might not apply on some circumstances, so we are really hoping that is the case. But we basically did waste our time there. But we are now getting ready for the sprint shootout, and hopefully Sky are going to start the world feed now.
F1 Sprint Day here at the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium. It's our third of 6 sprint events this season. It's round 12 of the 2023 campaign, and this is the F1 Sprint Shootout. With a twist, it's delayed. Once more, we go on to the breach of this amazing circuit. Fingers crossed for a good event. However, when does that ever turn up? It's the longest track on the calendar, 7.004 kilometres, 4.352 miles, full throttle for 67.7% of the lap, 19 turns, 102.1 metre elevation change. And now we're all hoping we're going to have a calm session. Let's look at the conditions. Absolutely sodden. And I don't think we'll be going for a while. The mist has set in, 95% humidity, track temperature 18 degrees, air temperature 15 degrees, and heavy rain. Alongside me for the podcast is Omi and Josh T. And Josh T, starting with you on this one. We just can't get any look at Spa. If we had look, we would be good, but it won't ever stop, will it? We just keep having these issues again and again and again. Hello.
Hello, yeah, we always have issues with getting started at Spa, but with what's happened in the recent years, I think it's for the best. As well, as you can see, you've got the bus stops that came down there, and you've got Eau Rouge up to Radion also there, but downforce is low here, the tyre wear is high. Top speed 219 miles per hour, 353 kilometers an hour, 68% of the lap is full throttle, and 19 turns makes up the Spa circuit.
Well, this is pretty much the normal qualifying that we all come to expect, isn't it, Omi, as well? But it's just absolutely ridiculous today. There is literally nothing going on. We can't even do anything. The track is just absolutely wiped out. And as we now know, of course, the start of the sprint shootout is and will be delayed until further notice.
Yep, it will be until we get further notice. So we won't be going at least for a while. And it really is unfortunate. Obviously, as Josh T said, it's understandable due to these conditions. That especially after what's happened in recent weeks as well. But hopefully we are going to get some running. A reminder: SQ1 to 12 minutes, SQ2 10 minutes, and SQ3 8 minutes. Usually we would have mandatory medium in Q1 and Q2. However, that won't be the case in this one, as it is declared a wet circuit, and obviously most likely when we do get going, we'll be on the full wets or intermediate. So it's going to be a wet session, so that rule goes fully out of the park. And yeah, hopefully that we are going to be able to get going, but currently it looks very, very wet.
So we've got a red flag out on the track in Formula E. So we'll keep an eye on that. We're just now getting everything set up so you can have a driver tracker in this session. It's pretty much what we're going to have to keep doing for a while. The track has now got literal rivers running across it as well. Good news is, guess which genius managed to fix the systems? Thank you very much as well earlier on, because now the systems are behaving themselves finally. After a couple of days of being bad, I managed to reset things and it's now working correctly. Okay, so we've got no news at the moment as well. Say again? Yes, of course you can. Just check the pockets as they come in. So, start is delayed. While we wait, as the green light should have come on and we're in this weather forecast hold, let's take a look back at what happened yesterday in the main F1 qualifying. Omi's very kindly done us some highlights. Magnussen down now. He's in the last lap time. It's a 1:42 coming up. He's got a lot of traffic in front of him. Albon improving too in that first and second sector. Williams might just get out here. Ricciardo's in the drop zone. Tsunoda's P14. Magnussen out of the last corner across the line. Is he improving on 19th position? That's the key. Yes, to 9th. 2-minute 2.020. Yeah, Josh T's right. Purple last sector, 31.481. Albon across the line. He's 18th, goes 11th on a 2-minute .314. Williams are through. As things stand, with Tsunoda and Ricciardo out of qualifying. Tsunoda, it looks like the track is actually drying up. Megan, look at the Inters, barely working as the checker flag's out in 7 seconds.
Do you want to see tomorrow?
A lot more rain.
Thunder.
Yeah, no, the sprint race might not happen. Checkered flag is out then. So, who's going to be the first one to take the checkered flag? It will be Lando Norris. He's currently in 8th position, and he decides to come into the pit lane. Perez goes up to second at 158.899. 91 thousandths quicker than his teammate Max Verstappen. Here comes Tsunoda into the last corner. Norris is 8th. Hulkenberg's out of qualifying. He'll start 20th. Tsunoda, can he get into Q2 across the line? Oh, mega lap! P4, fastest third sector, 159.044. Valtteri Bottas, 16th, goes 6th. The track's improving, and that's put Alonso at risk. Alonso might not make it out of qualifying for the first time in over 20 races. Verstappen at 158.515. Here comes Danny Ricciardo. Can he get through into the next segment of qualifying? 18th. Oh, he's through! Danny Ricciardo makes it through to Q2. 6th fastest. Alonso in the drop zone. Charles Leclerc's in danger too. Stroll across the line. Only goes 10th. Alonso is around about 18 seconds behind. He's coming through Blanchimont now. The time to beat is a 2-minute 3:14 set by Albon. And Ricciardo's had his lap time deleted. Ricciardo is out of qualifying. Now that puts Alonso right in. Here comes Alonso across the line. 16th to second. 158.834. Hamilton backs out of a lap time. He knows he's safe. Goes second. 158.563. And Charles Leclerc is currently in the drop zone, as well as Sargent. Gasly goes 8th. And Charles Leclerc into the last corner. Can he have an improvement across it? Leclerc boots it. 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59. He's top! It's a 158.3. And Sainz goes 4th.
So you're telling me they get rid?
I know. And Sargent goes 18th. And Albon's out of it. It's Albon, Zhou, Sargent, Ricciardo and Hulkenberg, the elimination zones. Oh, damaged wing, Ocon. Ocon's damaged his front wing.
Oh.
What's happened to Esteban Ocon?
I hit the wall, guys. Now I think the front wing's gone.
And you can see them.
Ocon's hit the wall. And he's broken. Oh, and there's debris flying off on the fastest part of the tracks. Now, if that wing explodes, we'll have to have a red flag. But it is just sort of holding on. It's a bit like what we saw in Toronto and in Rome. It's just sort of holding on by their carbon fibre.
It won't last long.
No. How did he do it? Where did he do it? It's into Speaker's Corner, so it's into Jackie Hicks.
It had a disagreement with the wall and it lost.
Oh, he got lucky there. He got lucky that wasn't a bigger accident.
Yeah. He's lucky to keep the front wheels attached.
Stroll out of the last corner. He's 14th at the moment. Is he going to be fast at Norris? As fast as middle sector. He's 15th at the moment. So dry tyres are the key. And you're fine now. It is Stroll up to third at 156.074. Norris, Perez, 155.151. Perez goes fastest. 3/10 quicker than Verstappen on those intermediate tyres. Russell, can he get out of the drop zone? He's 14th at the moment. Alonso's in there too. Bottas, Sainz and Norris. Russell goes top, 154.934. Lando, 15th to first, 3 seconds faster. Magnussen's time. It's a 154.051. Sainz second, 154.689. Lap times coming in thick and fast, and they need to come in thick and fast because the track is improving every second. We're about to have the checkered flag. Bottas improving. Cross the line. No one's down that time. Bottas will be the next one. Checkered flag's out. Gasly goes 6th, but he wasn't the first to call it. And Ocon's out. Ocon is out of qualifying. With that wing damage, it's cost him by 0.02 of a second to Piastri.
Shame.
Bottas into the last corner. Right over the sausage curbs at the bus stop. Takes the checkered flag. Is he through or is he out? Oh, he's through by a margin. He's third. 154.694. Tsunoda.
Hamilton's going to be knocked down.
Hamilton, yeah, good spot, Josh T. 156.295 by Hamilton. Here comes Tsunoda. And Tsunoda fastest. Hamilton is out. And Leclerc's out. Piastri fastest. Here comes Hamilton. Can he get himself in? With soft tyres. Yep, he's through. Gasly in trouble. Leclerc's in trouble.
Come on, Alonso.
Alonso's really in trouble now. Stroll's 11th. Both Astons could face being eliminated for the first time. Alonso's improving. Stroll across the line. Surely this will be top. It's P2. 152. 193. Perez is 9th. Verstappen! Verstappen might be eliminated here. Perez goes 4th. Alonso could kick out Verstappen. That's a key.
Kick him out!
Verstappen's improving, but not by much. Here's Alonso. 15th across the board. Alonso 7th. Russell at risk. Russell 5th. Verstappen's out of qualifying at the moment. Norris goes 3rd. Sainz is 9th.
Stay out.
Gasly improving too. Sainz goes 2nd. Verstappen could be out of qualifying. Will he get through? What's the improvement? Across the line. Verstappen only goes 9th. That's not enough. It's not enough. Leclerc and Magnussen are going quicker. Leclerc's through. Sainz. Magnussen could kick out Verstappen. Magnussen. 12th. Gasly. 12th.
Damn!
Verstappen gets through by the skin of his teeth. My goodness me. It could have been 15th on the grid for Sunday's race.
Should have kicked him out.
Max Verstappen goes to the top. Norris is going to be second fastest as well. Verstappen, can he take anything? Remember, he's got a 5-place grid penalty, so he won't have pole position overall. McLaren fans that might be having something here. Will we see a pole position for the Papayas in the country that supports the orange lion of Max Verstappen? He's in to the last corner now. Back on the accelerator. And Verstappen, mega good lap in the improving conditions. It's a 1:48.059. I don't think anybody would be able to beat that just yet. Charles Leclerc comes up to the line and I immediately eat my words. It's a 1:47.931. He's gone fastest overall. Can Perez take anything off Ferrari? Got their second pole of the season lined up. If the rain comes back, Perez goes 6th, 1:49.281. So Sainz as well. Could it be a 1-2 across the line? And provisionally it is a 1-2 because of Verstappen's penalty. It's a 1-2 for Ferrari.
Yep, these laps absolutely do stand. Leclerc, they're going even quicker through the first part of the lap. Exactly what the Monegasque driver needs. Just needs to find a better lap time currently to make sure that he maintains it. But Alonso is going quickly through the first sector. Now Verstappen takes it. So this is fully in the balance for so many different drivers. Will it be one of the Ferraris? Could it be Fernando Alonso? Aston Martin have not had the best of form recently, like the beginning of the season. So they're going to be looking for a return. What is the second sector looking like for Leclerc? Even quicker as he goes through. Look at Sainz as well going through now.
Yep, and Stroll's going to come across the line shortly as well, so he'll be the last one to take the delta time. Fastest sector 2 coming for Charles Leclerc. Sainz is up by 7.5 tenths of a second as well. And look at the first sector, Verstappen 31.2. Piastri, second sector 45.8. Leclerc could be out of the last corner. Is he going to better his time of a 1:47.931? Charles Leclerc does it again by nearly a second. It's a 1:46.988. Sainz is coming up faster though. Out of the last corner. Can it be a genuine Ferrari 1-2 across the line? Oh, you bet it can. 1:47.152. Here comes Piastri. Fourth at the moment. He qualifies. Verstappen goes 3rd. Here comes Lando Norris. Can he do anything about it? He goes 4th. Ferrari 1-2. McLaren 3-4. Verstappen, he's got to improve. He's got to go top to start 6th. Alonso goes 5th. If Verstappen doesn't improve, we're in trouble. Verstappen across the line, goes pole. He'll start 6th on the grid, so that's current. What about Hamilton? Pole 7 days ago. No, it doesn't improve, but fastest 3rd sector, puts in 3rd. That's front row. Perez goes front row. Can Russell steal pole across the line? Answer no. He goes 8th. Verstappen takes the qualifying pole. Charles Leclerc has pole position on Sunday's Belgium Grand Prix. He'll line up alongside Perez, Hamilton, Sainz row 2, Piastri, Verstappen row 3, Norris, Russell, Alonso and Stroll row 5. Max on pole, but Leclerc starts P1 on Sunday. Well, my thanks to Omi for making those highlights as well. Omi, you're a star, you've helped us, but unfortunately, we've still got no news on when we're going green. You're back live with us here on JB Motorsports YouTube and Twitch for the Sprint Shootout qualifying. Now, Megan told me that she heard you two saying about this, and it has now been confirmed the FIA says, and this is official news from the FIA, If we cannot run the sprint shootout, then we will use the qualifying classification from yesterday's to set the sprint grid. Grid penalties from qualifying will apply only for the Grand Prix. This would all be pending decision from the stewards, so subject to change, which would put Max Verstappen on pole for the sprint.
So that's basically not the provisional and final starting grid, it's the qualifying results, which they're basing it off.
Yes, start of sprint shootout is now delayed. That's what we've got. So yeah, so basically that's it. That's what we're going to have to go forward. And it will not
Amazing.
it's not going to be that result either. DRS enabled in zone 1. What is going on here? Clear
What?
sector 11, clear sector 12, yellow sector 11.
I think the river needs DRS, maybe. That's what's going on. The river's
And
the
they
only
just-
action we're getting today.
Are they just messing around with stuff?
They're probably just testing everything. Beth says, hello, Beth. Question, why do they keep Spa this time in the calendar when rain has caused it to be delayed, stopped or washed out 48 the last 65 years it's been held at this layout?
Physics.
In physics, yeah. Also, we're a month earlier. We're a month earlier than what we usually are. We're here in July, end of July instead of end of August. So we're slightly earlier, but it's not made a difference. I mean, it doesn't. We can happen any time of year. We came here in May once in 1985, and the track broke up. There's Bert Marlander. What's happening there? They're just changing it. They're putting a camera in the safety car now, and making sure all that is working to get it going. Well, we've got a limited time to do this sprint because we've got to get going for the F2 race, which I don't think is going to happen. So if they cancel this, then they'll cancel that, and then what happens with the Grand Prix? I mean, I wouldn't mind if they cancelled the F2 sprint race quite early on, to be fair. That means I get to do Formula E qualifying. So it's one of those. We just have to wait and see. Oh, hang on a minute. I've not ended the Megan's YouTube stream.
Do you want me?
I've got it. It's been going on for extra time now. My fault, sorry.
Did someone have an Inzi or did someone score a goal?
Yeah, Michael Mazzi, own goal. Back in the net. This is where it all started, really, wasn't it? Michael Mazzi, all started here. His controversy. Up until then, he was seen as a interesting but fair race director. But it was here at Spa where everyone sort of to go, well, we could have gone racing at this time, we could have gone racing at that time. We never got to show the actual running order, so let's take a look at the championship if you're just joining us for the first time. Max Verstappen leads, he's on 281 points. Perez is second, he's on 171. Alonso is on 189. Hamilton 133. Russell's on 90. Sainz 87. Leclerc 80, the same as Norris. Stroll's on 45. Ocon 31. Piastri 27. Gasly 16, Albon 11, Hülkenberg 9, Bottas 5, Zhou 4, Tsunoda 2, the same as Magnussen, Sargent, De Vries and Ricciardo, no points. The Constructors' Championship, Red Bull 452, Mercedes 223, Red Bull double over the points as well. In fact, Max Verstappen has got so many points, he is leading the Constructors' Championship. That's how I like to see it. Then we get Aston Martin 184, 167 for Ferrari, 87 McLaren, 47 for Alpine, 11 from Williams as well up in 7th, the same as Haas in 8th. Alfa Romeo on 9 and AlphaTauri on 2. That's the points paying position at the moment. So, it has stopped raining apparently in the pit lane and there's a bit of sunshine coming out, so we might get a session start soon as we keep our fingers crossed that it's going to go racing, Omi.
Yep, keeping our fingers crossed currently that we are going to be getting a bit of a session. But obviously there will be a bit of a warning to the teams that we are starting to see everyone getting a tiny bit ready. Some drivers getting in their cars, some drivers getting their suits on, rather than we were seeing earlier on right at the beginning where they were just all chilling. So they're all starting to get a tiny bit ready, so I think we're all expecting maybe, or the drivers starting to expect that we could maybe get the session underway in a tiny bit, but the weather's still looking bad, so it will be full wet, and I wouldn't be surprised if we go out and we see a red flag straight away.
Happened back in 2010 as well when rain was incoming. Vitaly Petrov, exit of turn 9, lost the rear, hit the wall, brought out the red flag, and then it caused chaos later on in the race as well. It's small things that give us the worst change-arounds as well. What is your track, Joshua? What track? Where? What? My track? What I'm good at? I'm very good at Montreal and Silverstone, and I'm very partial to Hungary. Ah! Flashbacks, anyone, to 2021?
Oh.
That was the only racing that was going on that day, the karting. And they will be on slick tyres, by the way. So they are racing out there on slick tyres. I like that very much.
Well, they're keeping us entertained.
Oh, look.
Right now.
Blue sky. Have we got a start time? Because they've taken away the start, the sprint is delayed. So I think we might have a scheduled
we
time.
could be.
Now, what do we do here? Because we're 20 minutes delayed. Is that going to push everything else in the day, 20 minutes delayed? Because what was the gap between the F1 and the F2 race? And then, yeah,
An hour and 20, I'd say.
that was the gap.
Something.
Right.
But no, one sec. Let me just double check because I don't want to tell you the wrong times.
F2 sprint race broadcast is due to start at 12:40
Right, okay.
on the world feed.
That's not too bad then. So basically, to do 44 minutes, we've got to get going, I would say, by... we've got to get going in the next 20 minutes, I would say. If we don't, they'll probably cancel the session. In fact, I would say if we go over this time duration, and it's now again been confirmed that the sprint shootout is delayed. I would say if it gets to the top of the hour and we haven't started this, it'll get cancelled because there's other things to prioritise in the day, and we've got a This is a second qualifying. We don't need it because we've had a qualifying yesterday, so it would be better to prioritise racing rather than a qualifying.
Yeah.
We don't
Because
need
we
it.
already have a grid we can use.
SQ1 will start at
There we go.
12:35. So that is in 15 minutes' time. That's a very thingy call, isn't it? To
Okay,
go
then.
15 minutes. Wow.
Long.
That's a long time as well to get that sorted. So, okay. We're at Spa now on that track. Singapore's the wrong graphic. Singapore's got the wrong track, right, guys. We no longer go to do the in out. It's all one straight now at the back. Somebody's messed up that. So, the session will restart. Favourite member of the team? Megan. I've got to say Megan, she's my sister, otherwise she'll hit me. She'll come down to the commentary box.
She'd kill you.
Yeah, she would. Yeah. I enjoy working with all my team. I love them. They're all brilliant. But yeah, Megan would, if I don't say that, she would probably come down and hit me.
Yeah, we can't physically hit you.
Yeah,
Or
that's
maybe
true.
Josh can and Xander will.
That's true, actually, yeah. But I must point out, without the team, none of this weekend would be possible at all. Because Megan's taking Formula E sessions, Josh is taking touring cars, so's Omi later. In fact, I think it's just me and Megan for the sprint race, which I find interesting. We haven't done one of those in a
You
while.
managed to get Richie in?
No,
Or did he
I
say no?
didn't. I haven't managed to get through to him yet. Richie,
Ah.
if you're watching, there's a hole in the team. Actually, I wonder if Tom would do it. I haven't messaged Tom. No, Tom's doing ERC, isn't he? Yeah, that's fine.
Yep.
Busiest weekend of the year. And it's lights out and away we go. And the brush is being chased by the tractor as we head down towards La Source. And it's a very slow race. Come on, give it some weight.
And we're still going. The brush goes to the inside line, and then the jet drive behind goes to the outside line, and they're through turn one. Oh, God. What is this TV direct? We want to see the race. Welcome to F1 delays, everybody.
It's just one of those things, isn't it? Gotta keep going.
I think we're saying that. Right. I'm just currently taking a look all over Twitter. Well, yeah, Lance Stroll is okay after his little fall over thingy.
He fell over? We were off
Yeah,
air for a
he
bit.
fell over on the stairs.
Oh, slippy.
Well, it was just a
Fell
few
down
stairs.
the stairs from the hospitality to the
Ah, I
paddock
see.
floor. so
Right.
just a couple, but yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go over then to Sky Sports F1 quickly.
Saw him on Sunday morning in Hungary. He was actually having a run with Jonathan Wheatley, his counterpart at Renault. I was going for a little stroll around Budapest. Almost got knocked over by the pair of them as they came sprinting around the corner. But he's a great character in the paddock. But he'll be sticking around. I can't see Alan Permain departing from the sport. It was a seismic day at Alpine yesterday with that announcement. It wasn't the greatest day in qualifying either. Big frustrations for the likes of Esteban Ocon, for instance. Let's hear from him now.
Esteban, very tricky, changeable conditions out there today. Can you just tell me about that session from your perspective?
Yeah, it was very tricky, but we were on for a very good one. Unfortunately, that mistake is on me. Obviously, I missed the corner, but we had plenty of time to go again if we had managed to change the front wing. Unfortunately, the front wing wasn't ready, and it took like 30 seconds or 40 seconds to find it. And yeah, from there, obviously we couldn't go again, and we couldn't retry. So yeah, mistake on my side, mistake on the team side. Yeah, it's not good for us today. It's a mistake that I don't accept. I don't want to be doing these things. I do them very rarely, but when it happens, yeah. We need to be on top of them, and we haven't been on top from one side or the other, my side or the team side. So today, yeah, we missed it.
And that crossover to slicks towards the end of Q2, I mean, what was that like behind the wheel?
Yeah, it was too early for the first lap, but it was going to be good for the last one, so that was the right decision.
And the sprint tomorrow, a chance to come back, have another go at it. What do you think will be possible? Similar conditions expected?
The aim is to come back, yeah, obviously strong, and hopefully, get into the top 10 for the sprint.
Naomi Schiff said in FP1 that the no-name corner was going to be tricky in the wet, and it was for Esteban Ocon.
Okay, mate, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to change front wing, we're going to change tyres, and we're going to do our best to get one time lap in, all right? I need decent...
Not sure about changing tires.
It's we're doing it already. We're doing it.
No, they are warm up, these ones.
We're changing tyres, Esteban. Everyone's prepped to.
Trouble is, they were prepped to change the tyres, but as Esteban pointed out, they weren't prepped with a new front wing.
No, and you need different jacks when you're changing the front wing, because obviously you jack the car up using the front wing in a normal pit stop. So you need to be organised with the jacks, with the personnel, with the front wing is probably the most important. The replacement front wing, probably the most important thing there.
Yeah, we haven't heard that team radio before, and we don't often hear that sort of interchange between driver and race engineer. Esteban Ocon, as he came in talking to Josh Peckett, his race engineer. But I think the team wanting to put new tyres on, or different tyres on, because they would have been in their blankets. By the time they would have changed the front wing, if it had been there, the tyres on the car would have got a bit colder, standing there for 15 seconds or so.
Yeah, he obviously felt that. They come out of the blankets at 70, and he probably felt he'd got more energy in the tyres he was carrying with him, even if they had a little trip through the gravel. So. Yeah, they obviously felt that the tube was out of the toothpaste. The toothpaste was out of the tube there, in terms of we're committed to putting the tyres on. We can't stop it now.
10 minutes to go, ladies and gentlemen, until we can get the sprint shootout going. Looking at the scene at Ferrari at the moment, and everyone's just being very patient and waiting to get things going once more. Carlos Sainz with 10 points in the sprints. So far this season, he got a third in Austria. He's qualified fifth on the grid in Baku and Austria for both of the sprint races, and he's 3 points in the sprint standings. Not that they count for anything, it's all part of the World Championship. Ahead of this man, Fernando Alonso, currently third in the Drivers' Championship. He's been third in the Drivers' Championship since the opening race of the season, but with Aston Martin's downturn in form recently, how long before Fernando Alonso gets overtaken by some of the drivers behind him? Lewis Hamilton just 6 points behind Fernando Alonso now. And you dare say at the end of this weekend, after qualifying yesterday with the Aston Martins occupying row 5, that Lewis Hamilton has a great chance of getting past the Aston Martin of Fernando Alonso by the end of this race weekend. A lot of points on the show, on offer.
There's a flag for Lando Norris. This looks very much like McLaren territory, this racetrack. they'll be there. In fact, they'll have been wishing they'd got out and got on with it, because the wetter the better for them.
Yeah.
But if it stays wet all the way through the 3 sectors, McLaren have got a cracking chance here of a front row.
What of Fernando Alonso? What are his thoughts going into the competitive action this weekend, the weekend of his 42nd birthday? Let's hear from him now.
Hey Fernando, quite a dynamic session out there. Conditions obviously improving. What was it like from behind the wheel for your car?
Yeah, stressful, no doubt. Obviously, every lap was a new game, and yeah, you have to readapt a little bit the level of grip and the trust on the car, and then you go through places and corners that you've never been that fast in any lap before. So it's a little bit of a guess game, and yeah, at the end we progress in all the sessions, Q1, Q2, which was the main target, and then in Q3, yeah, we try to put a lap. Obviously, everything is again very tight, apart of Verstappen, then the rest is very tight, and yeah, we are just 1/10 or 2/10 from P7, which maybe was the maximum today.
You mentioned trust in the car. Did you kind of have that as the session went on?
Yeah, I think the car was behaving well, and you know, giving me the right inputs, you know, when I was doing and trying something. So yeah, the car was performing well today, but yeah, we're still missing these couple of tenths compared some of the main competitors, especially on one lap. Hopefully on Sunday we can recover.
I know you've had very little running as well, but Sundays you've generally been a bit better, haven't you, in terms of race pace. What are you kind of fighting around at the moment around this circuit?
Yeah, let's see. I think it was not fully dry today, so still not completely the balance of the car when the curbs are dry and you can push a little bit more. And then obviously the gradation, we go into Sunday's race a little bit blind for everybody. Maximum run length, I think it was 2 laps today. So that's the info we will go to Sunday, but it's the same for everybody.
So it was Fernando Alonso. By the way, a happy 42nd birthday to him today, as we're waiting around. Just waiting for some notes to be printed in. Go on, Amy.
I've DM'd Richie. He might be available, so if he is, he'll join along.
Brilliant, because I think it might only be Richie at this point in case Megan gets overrun with whatever she's doing. I can't actually remember. And look at this, guys. It's exactly like yesterday now. The rain has stopped 35 minutes later, and now we've got sunshine. So the chat's going to be wet, but it's going to dry out again. So are we going to see the same results, or are we going to see something different?
Maybe. It's going to be interesting. How quickly will it dry out? And it's definitely, it's really going to be interesting. But as you can see, they're all queuing up because they all want to rush out there. So all of them queuing up. We saw Mercedes queuing up very early yesterday. They're queuing up very early today as well. But yeah, by the way, for Richie, there's no guarantees because he said he might be or might not. So if he is, then he'll join. Yeah, and most likely he'll join around 3:30ish. So exactly when it's lights out, if he's going to join.
That's pretty much when Richie always does anyway. He's never on time. So, here we go again then. I was thinking in the back of my throat then. 5 minutes to go until the session gets underway, and then we can go into the green flag procedure. So, Cole asking, do you like football? I'm a fan.
Not me.
I've commentated on it. I don't like commentating on it. I much prefer motorsports and the tennis.
Absolutely.
And the cricket's quite good. Really bad, whatever's in the back of my throat right now. I apologise for coughing on air. It hit the back of my throat. Air. Wow, not good, not good. Josh, T, what about you?
Stroll getting ready as well, but we've got 5 minutes until the start of SQ1. Stroll just getting in the mindset there, and just hopefully he's not. He'll be hurting a little bit after that small fall. Sergio Perez in the other side of the Red Bull garage. Surprised they're not down at the end of the pit lane already, because they're quite quick to get out and wait a long time. We saw yesterday, but 3 minutes and 42 seconds until we get going.
Really a waste of time, these extra 5 minutes, to be honest, isn't it? Really a waste of time. We could have just got this started at 30. So
that must be something they're thinking about. I think Beth says, I think dropping Otmar from Alpine was a bit harsh, but not being able to find the front wing for Ocon for 40 seconds, maybe it was deserved. Yeah, thinking so. No, it shows the team a tad disorganised. They really are. And Cole asking as well, favourite motorsport? Oh, it's Formula One. How could it not be?
Other than Formula One?
So what?
Other than Formula One, please?
Yeah, it's got to be Formula One. It has to be Formula One's favourite motorsport.
Yeah,
If
but
you
like,
can't
the next
choose
one.
F1,
Oh, NASCAR.
what would it be?
We said that before. NASCAR. I think that's what I would more like to commentate on. Favourite sport?
And then
I couldn't-
third favourite?
MotoGP, then Tour. Actually,
Mine-
it's quite easy. My three favourites are Formula One, MotoGP, and British Touring Car Championship, because they're the three I first started. I commented on Formula
Mine
One,
is-
then I did MotoGP, then I did touring cars.
Mine is very simple. F1, F2, F3.
Yeah.
Wow, that's F2 and F3 because Alex Jakes used to commentate on F3.
Oh yeah, Beth.
F2
I said
because-
about BTCC, but I enjoy. I'm enjoying commentating on the NASCAR. I've done it for 2 seasons now on USRN, a couple of them a year, and I'm really fun. And next year, we are planning an ambitious task of streaming them all. So every NASCAR race, all 36 of them, would be broadcast.
I'm guessing that's just Cup, not Truck and Xfinity. as
Just Cup, yeah, and it would be done with. It wouldn't be me all the time because there's IndyCar and all that lot. So basically, what would happen is we're going to try and plan it in the off season so that either I commentate or USRN takes the commentary. So there will always be somebody doing the commentary. If I'm doing it, it'll be with cameras. If I'm not doing it, it'll be with timing screens on the radios. Or Tom Dillon takes it, I don't know. But
I can take a couple as well.
Yeah, see? So we're going to try and get as many done as possible. But I won't be at everyone. Matthew won't be at everyone because he doesn't do everyone now. But it'll be treated as more like an open series where we can all tune in. We'll go our separate ways, though, at some races, like Daytona will go our separate ways for the 500. The last race of the year will go our separate ways, and that lot. But then throughout it, we'll be going like bang, 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 bang throughout all of
Yeah.
them. Bit like how we do with IndyCar and the Indy 500. JB Motorsports, we broadcast it all, and then we do all the practice and qualifying on USRN. For qualifying, Matthew Owens joins us in the box, and then for the race, we go our separate ways. That's pretty much how we will do it as well next year. So, we're getting set then. Go on.
Oh, I just said interesting.
Yes.
Right. Well, yeah, we're about to get underway then for the sprint shootout. After a 35-minute delay, we are finally going to get the session underway, and hopefully we can stay green on the intermediates. All of the drivers lining up, and the green light about to go on in 15 seconds.
So, it's a pointless session. We've already set the grid, but let's see what we're going to have. 5 seconds left. 3, 2, 1. And the third sprint shootout qualifying of 2023 is underway here at the Spa-Francorchamps circuit in Belgium. Lewis Hamilton and George Russell, like they were yesterday in qualifying, are the first 2 cars out onto the track. A reminder, after a 35-minute delay, that this is how it works. We have it's Shootout 1, that's 12 minutes. Shootout 2 is 10 minutes. Shootout 3 is 8 minutes with a 7-minute gap either side. And fingers crossed, Omi, it should be quite clear. It doesn't look too bad actually now. A lot of standing water still with the spray, but no new rain coming in for now.
Yep, no new rain coming in for now, but that can easily change as well. However, currently it's going to be interesting to see how this one goes. Will it be any different? Are we just going to have a repeat of what we saw yesterday? Going to be interesting to spray as expected, as now they're going to start hopefully drying the track up a bit. The rain stopped not falling anymore, but there's still a lot of standing water on the circuit. There's been rivers across Rouge, Radion, so yeah, it's going to be a very interesting session, all on the intermediates as they go out. And if it does dry out, now we did see it can dry quickly around this venue, so maybe if the sun starts to come up, maybe last Q3 bold, someone goes bold and goes for the softs.
Oh no.
Oh.
We've just had it being told that the gap between the start of sprint shootout and sprint is fixed at 4 hours and 30 minutes. So the sprint start time will be at 16:05 UK time. That takes it dangerously close to the start time of the London E-Prix. That's stupid.
That does take it.
Yeah.
16:05. Seriously? Am I now going to have to cancel one of my EELC shifts?
Does mean
Well,
that you two could probably come into the com box.
Yeah.
That's a 35-minute delay, yeah. Wow.
And then if there's any red flags
No,
more delays.
No, that doesn't matter.
or the start, not the
Yeah.
Cool.
It can go maximum 1 hour, can't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
If there's a red flag. So,
What now is basically it was the start of Q1. That's what they needed to. If we have any red flags, they just eat into the time anyway. It doesn't matter. But it's the start of the session that is the delay. As Hamilton's on the lap time. Now Hartherfield, someone new intermediate, someone old intermediates, Josh, and that was the point that Omi mentioned about it's all going to be on Inters to begin with, but they only get 4 sets and an additional set, and it's wet throughout the weekend, so they're running tyres that they ran yesterday in qualifying.
Yeah, they will be, and they're going to have to manage their intermediate tyres, and they're also going to have their wet tyres. But Hamilton on track, the first to set a lap time, so of course his sector is said it. Claire also goes across the line to start a lap into turn 1.
What's causing that? Well,
But yeah,
Hamilton first set's looking quick. There's a small lag I'm noticing appearing. So let me just adjust that quickly. Hamilton through the first sector, looks okay. It's a 34.039. Second sector is a 56.204. Right, Fossil, I agree with you. The F3 race was crazy, and it's no points at the moment. They're debating that because those points rules is if only 2 laps cannot be completed without the safety car behind them as well. 2 green flag laps, but we ran 12 laps. We completed a race distance. That case, Formula 1 doesn't count for points if we do the whole distance. They've done a distance, so there's currently a protest going on about that. Hamilton then, first benchmark to 202.297. Russell is behind him somewhere in the wall of spray, just coming out of the bus stop. And he'll cross the line and cut it. 204, 205, 205.067. So he's taking it very cautiously. Hamilton not wanting to get caught out like Verstappen nearly did yesterday on a drying track, has properly gunned it. As Magnussen has decided to abandon his lap time. That's a stupid decision. He was out there on old intermediates, yes, but you've got to set your time, otherwise you're not going to be in the sprint. Leclerc, who's out there on old intermediate tyres, is going fastest, but now Piastri once again, Omi, just like yesterday, showing that McLaren has pace. He's fastest in that second sector.
Yep, Oscar Piastri looking good through the second part of the lap. Charles Leclerc now brings it all the way to the bus stop chicane, get it slowed down, and then you make your way all the way through the final corner, and then you get on the power once again. But Piastri looking quick through the second sector. What can Leclerc do there as he comes over the line? He goes ahead of Hamilton by 8 tenths, but Piastri looking quick. What is he going to be able to do now as he comes out of the final corner and goes to the line?
201.311 for Piastri. He goes fastest overall. Stroll and Verstappen on lap times 2. And I think as well, Josh, we're going to have to start worrying about the likes of the Williamses as well. They're not doing too well. Correction, best sector time for Albon, and he rockets up into 3rd place with Sargent down in 7th. I stand corrected.
Yep, a 201.9336 tenths off Alexander Albon, but Verstappen is 8 tenths up.
Stroll into the last corner, gets on the accelerator. Those intermediate tyres looking a little bit too dry out the last corner. You can see the rivets, but then you hit the spray across the start line. It's a 202.888 for Stroll. He puts him 7th. Here's Max Verstappen. Middle sector looking really quick as well. It's a 154.362. So is Verstappen going to jump to the top as he comes across the line? Max Verstappen in the Red Bull is a 2-minute 3.52. He's 9.5 tenths faster than Oscar Piastri. There's just no stopping him, but maybe there is because Russell's second. But look at that, Sainz first sector time of 33.364.
The track's improving. The track will be getting drier and drier as we go throughout the session. So, even Verstappen might have a... Yeah, go on.
Incident involving Hamilton and Verstappen has been noted for impeding at turn 8.
Oh.
Yeah.
Who impeded who?
Presumably Verstappen impeded... Well, presumably Hamilton's impeded Verstappen, not the other way around, because that's the way we're on the track. Gasly, 2:01.086 goes fourth fastest. 5 minutes to go in Q1, and the track is improving. Continue, Emmy.
Yep, track improving indeed. We're about to see what Sainz can do as well. Verstappen fastest first sector, so he's going even quicker in the first part of the lap. Sainz just marginally up now. Hamilton going fastest in the first sector momentarily as well. But yeah, Leclerc now rockets up to second position. So this will just be improvement on improvement on improvement. So at the end of this Q1 session, SQ1, you're really going to be seeing you're really going to see everyone trying to battle out, and I think we could have a shock once again of someone going out in SQ1. One of the top teams of Sainz goes all the way, using a lot of curb as he goes to the bus stop, and now he's going to make his way to the line. Where can he go? Alonso 1.2 seconds down on Verstappen to the second sector. Sainz to the top.
1:59.981, mighty good time. Fernando Alonso on his 42nd birthday as well, looking very quick as he comes round Blanchimont. Ricciardo goes fourth, 2:02.976, great time in the AlphaTauri. That's underperforming this year. He is sort of gripping together the team. It's dry through the bus stop, but then as soon as you exit the corner, you can see that it gets wetter and the spray starts to throw up. Alonso goes ninth, 2:01.461. Hamilton's first sector time is fastest overall. He set a personal best in sector 2 as he rounds Blanchimont. Sonoda goes into 8th place. Verstappen now 1:58.958. He moves 1.023 clear of Sainz. Russell third, 2:02.475. Here comes Hamilton up to the line though, and he goes second, 7 tenths off of Verstappen on 1:59.674. Perez now second, 1:59.362. The gap between them is 4 tenths of a second, and this is the Verstappen and Hamilton incident that's been noted. It's down at Rivage, and Hamilton right in the racing line, blocking Verstappen quite clearly.
I think we already know who's going to get a penalty with that one, because if it was the other way around, then I'm sure there wouldn't be a penalty. But yeah, Hamilton in the way of Verstappen, so I think Hamilton will get a penalty for that.
Josh?
Yeah, and I'm going to have to go for FP2 now.
Right, okay, I've put it on back. Have a good one, Josh. I've put you on battle screen.
See ya.
See you later.
Bye.
So Magnussen coming out of the last corner, and Magnussen again back into the pit lane. He hasn't had the time yet, Omi.
Yeah, Magnussen hasn't. What about Hulkenberg? Qualified 20th yesterday. What can Piastri as well? We're waiting for Piastri actually. So he's about to come to our picture. There he is, as he's gonna make his way to the line. Where can he go from 12th? Is he able to find an improvement? He goes to 5th. So he goes to 5th place, but both Hasses in the pits. Hulkenberg going in. So what is actually going on with the Haas? You don't want to be. They have no lap time, and you don't want to be doing that. They're back out on the circuit now, but you don't want that in this kind of session where the track just ramps up. If they make a mistake, they have absolutely no banker to go off. And Norris currently finds himself in the elimination zone, but I'm sure he'll be trying to find an improvement. But it's one mistake, and you can find yourself out.
They've got to be
Norris is down, actually.
Yeah, Norris is down in the first sector, so they've got to really be careful and find the right delta time now. Let's look at the
further
driving
investigation,
screen.
thank God.
No further
further
okay.
investigation.
That's brave. I thought they would have penalised him. I generally thought they would.
I mean, they've been penalising Leclerc for a lot of sprint shootouts and qualifying stuff, so a bit surprised, but I mean, they don't penalise Verstappen, so fair. Don't penalise Hamilton as well.
Fair dues. Yeah, you are right. It's getting correct. So we're back up then. Me and Naomi up in the box as Josh T has left to go do the touring cards. It's one of those weekends where the team is spread very thin. And here we go now. This is Leclerc coming down in towards Rivage. Late on the brakes, turns it in nicely, gets a good exit as well. So Leclerc is actually looking really strong.
Yeah, looking strong. And then you make your way through Speaker's Corner, get back on the power. Sergeant also pushing onto the first sector as well as he tries to get into Q2. His teammate currently is the driver at risk as we are now into the final moments of this SQ1 session. So everyone is going to have to find an improvement. Whatever position you might be in, Albon's going quickest to the first sector. Whatever position you might be in, you're going to have to find an improvement here because we're going to see, I think, a shock of someone going out here. Leclerc, we're about to see what he's looking like through the second sector. We're about to get the second sector time compared to Max Verstappen as he goes through. He's about 6/10 down, so that would currently put him ahead of Hamilton, but he might lose some time to the third sector as well. What about Logan Sargent? We're going to get his comparison to Alex Albon. He is 1.5 seconds up, but Albon is going massively quick in the first sector, so we're about to see what he can do. But here we go then, Leclerc coming to the bus stop chicane.
So this will be the last run then. By the time he gets to the checkered flag line, the session will be over. The flag is out now. Leclerc's in P7. It's very crucial to get points. Look at that. It's a massive traffic jam in towards turn number 1 as they try and get the times. Leclerc goes third. Piastri, though, only manages P number 6. Hulkenberg and Magnussen set no time. They start this race from the back of the grid later on today. Sargent goes 6th. Stellar time, 2-minute .031. But Alexander Albon is looking really good here to maybe top the session. Can he echo what George Russell did back in 2021? He's had a poor exit out of the last corner. That's cost him time, but it's still second with a 1:59.198. Alonso now, he's in the second sector, not even yet. I know everyone's just taking their time as Ricciardo goes through in 9th place, 2-minute 1:77. Alonso, Norris, Stroll, Magnussen, Hulkenberg in the drop zone. And I think that's going to change, and I can't believe Haas just haven't bothered.
Yeah, Haas haven't bothered at all. We're still waiting for the first sector time from Ocon and Norris. Alonso, though, is going to have to try and get through. Let's see what he's able to do. Magnussen, though, Magnussen on a lap, though, to the first sector. And same with Hulkenberg, so we could be seeing an effort by them. Here comes Alonso to the line.
Sonoda's gone into 11th. Alonso crosses the line, goes second fastest, 1:59.038. So the Williams got pace. But now look, Ocon, Zhou, Stroll, Norris, all in danger. Verstappen at 1:58.135. And the track is drying out. It's now sunshine coming through Blanchimont in towards the bus stop chicane. Ocon into the bus stop now. 1:51, 1:52, 53 at the exit. Hamilton goes second, 1:58.939. Ocon across the line. There's barely any spray coming off those intermediate tyres. He goes 8th fastest. Zhou, Norris, Stroll in danger now. Norris across the line. He's 17th. Can he improve? Only goes 12th. That's both Alfa Romeos now in danger. Stroll across the line. He's 18th, goes 13th. Gasly's in trouble, but he's across the line next. Gasly kicks out Sonoda. That's the 2. And I don't see anything else. Magnussen only 18th, so both Haas cars out. Zhou's out, and Bottas is in the pit lane. So that is it. Session over. We lose Sonoda, Bottas, Magnussen, Zhou, and Hulkenberg. And crucially, Ricciardo out-qualifies Sonoda. Wow, that's an interesting session. Well done, both Williams are through to Q2.
Yeah, both Williams as well. Now this is what was going on with Haas. You don't leave it to the last second. Whoa!
And the jack broke. The jack broke and it flew up as well. And Hulkenberg locking up. Sorry, Russell locking up at the Lecombe chicane. Hulkenberg, though, ran over the debris as well, so I wouldn't be surprised if he had damage. That's maybe why he was told to box. And this is Perez coming out of the last corner. What's happened to him? Has he been blocked?
They're all queuing out to begin their lap, aren't they? So is someone going to come on the inside? Yes.
Well, that was Gasly. Yeah, it's Gasly across the line.
And yeah, then they battle into turn 1. But Russell got lucky there with that lock-up. He almost found himself out once again, just like he did in Austria. But Tsunoda just having to go out along with Magnussen.
Here's
Hulkenberg.
I think that's it, no?
Yeah, unfortunately that's it.
Very interesting execution there.
Yep, sorry Nico, we got it wrong.
Sadly,
got it as bad as wrong. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was really ridiculous. Paul says, fantastic commentary and we make a good team. Thanks for that. That's nice. As it comes through, could it be tactical move by Haas to save tyres for race day tomorrow? Could be with Intis, couldn't it?
Yeah, it could be, but I mean, they were just driving around, messing around, and at least get one lap or something on the board or something. And also, right at the end, just messing around like crazy. So I don't even know what Haas were up to there. But yeah, Haas not expecting to score points, so they're like, well, who cares about the sprint? Let's just sit at the back and relax.
Now the session's going to start at 12:54, and that's only in That's only in 2 minutes 40 seconds. That's a very quick turnaround for the next part of qualifying. Like super quick. Don't usually see that happening. Okay, let's take a look then at what happened and those knocked out in qualifying 1 for the sprint shootout. Out goes Sonoda, Bottas, Magnussen, Zhou and Hulkenberg. Through go Verstappen, Hamilton, Alonso, Albon, Perez, Sainz, Leclerc, Ocon, Sargent, Gasly. Top 10, Piastri, Ricciardo, Norris, Stroll and Russell just getting through in P15. The track improving on me way too quickly out there. I reckon we might see dries towards the end of Q2.
Yeah. I do think that I do think it's going to be exactly like we saw yesterday with the track just getting better and better, and then we see dries, and it's going to give us an interesting Q3. But hopefully someone can beat Verstappen in the sprint shootout, because I would say Verstappen can start 3rd or 4th. It could give us a bit of an interesting sprint race still. I think we could maybe get someone, if Norris or someone like someone who just wants to win, like even if it's a sprint race, just someone who wants to win.
Yeah.
Maybe they can defend for a while. It's still possible. There's no pit stops. Maybe 15 laps, if there's a bit of chaos, maybe a tiny bit of done behind the safety car. If Verstappen's around 4th or 5th, then I would say we could get an interesting sprint race here.
Yeah, there's the results and the gaps then between everybody as we just set up for the next part of qualifying. That's underway shortly. Cars are they back in the pit lane or are they still circulating? I can't actually tell where they are because on my timing screen they're still there.
Oh, are they? For me, they're all in the pits.
Yeah, so that's our timing screen then. Massively delayed. Let's go back over to Sky.
Where it is getting brighter and brighter, so that means Anthony Davison at the Sky pad doesn't have to stand there with his brolly any longer. And
yeah, now seriously regretting the jacket decision now, Crofty, and wishing I had sun cream on. But that, enough about me. I was interested in this side-by-side of Verstappen, the lap where he was potentially impeded by Lewis, and the lap afterwards where he wasn't. So just check the difference in line first of all, that you can see a bit more of a drier line going on in the approach. He has to go around the outside of that corner when Lewis was there. But the important thing is was he impeded in terms of lap time? When he gets into the next corner, turn 9, there's not actually that much difference, bearing in mind the circuit was faster on the next lap that he approaches. So I think if it was dry, it would have been a very different scenario on the outcome with the steward's decision.
And, yeah.
Yeah, basically would have, because you go more towards the inside in the driver. On the wet, you're taking a wider line to give you a better run into Speaker's Corner. So yeah. Correct decision by the FIA there, as we have SQ2 underway. The car starting to head out onto the racetrack.
So qualifying 2 is underway here at Spa-Francorchamps, and as a contrast to what we've been experiencing over the past hour, bright sunshine has now eclipsed the Spa. Yeah, so are we going to see, is it going to be dry? It comes and goes so quickly, doesn't it? It's the most craziest weekend I've ever seen at Spa in terms of how nothing is changing. Nothing. It's just.
I mean, we could get to the F2 sprint, and then it starts absolutely bucketing it down, and then we're in a delay again after the sunshine. So it changes so quickly around this venue.
One thing I'm worried about as well is that now we've got 9 minutes to go this session, and then we'll have the next part, but it's all going to go a little bit wrong because do we delay? Is the F2 race delayed? Is that delayed, or would it go on time, and how much? And we've got to think about the Formula E. At the end of the day, we don't care what happens in the F2 and F1 world as well. That can all reverberate. Our eyes are focused every day on will we get the Formula E race live? That last race of the day, that is the most important because it's a world championship deciding race, which means we've all got to be there. It's so much there to look forward to. And that'll be up later. Qualifying coming up in around about 40 minutes time on that one. So hopefully we'll be finished. And I can nip off and start the commentary for Megan, and then she can take over for the remainder of it. But she'll have our timing screen. And I believe Josh T, has he started? Has Josh T started the F2, the practice 2 commentary?
I'll take a look.
Yes, he has. He has.
Brilliant.
So the commentary is go. It's basic commentary this weekend because there's a problem with our situations and graphics. But Josh T has done absolutely amazingly to get those graphics sorted. So well done to him so you can still see the session. I'll be back for race 1 tomorrow for Croft, and then Jess and Josh take you through race 2 and 3. And Omi, you're off to qualifying commentary with him later, aren't you?
With what? Oh, today, yes.
Yeah, joint class qualifying.
Yeah, I was confused. I thought you were talking about. I thought you were talking about tomorrow, and I was like, "What qualifying?"
No, today, later on today. Although the good thing is, and I don't think anyone's spotted it yet, I'll be doing the build-up stuff, but you can literally just join the commentary about 10 minutes after the end of the British Touring Car Quali, so it's not all a loss.
Yeah, and then we get the F1 sprint.
Yeah.
Yay!
Pretty much.
So I still get to watch it.
Our timing screen is massively delayed, so I'm going to try and fix that. It's not great. As Ricardo's on board now, down towards the braking zone. Do you reckon Ricardo is going to be up there with F1 material? Is he quick? Is he a quick driver once again? Has he come back to his own?
Once again, it is really, really hard to tell because, yes, okay, he's beaten Tsunoda 2 times. He didn't beat him yesterday, but he beated him in Hungary. But sometimes, yeah, maybe a driver's having a bit of bad form. Tsunoda maybe a bit under pressure. Especially, we've had so many damp qualifying sessions with a lot of rain involved. We've been seeing shocks like Russell going out, so it's really hard. It's really hard to actually know because literally every qualifying session this year is almost affected by some kind of rain, dampness. The circuit's damp, and it really does cause a lot of chaos. But Ricardo, coming to the end of the lap, looking really good through the first sector. Norris hasn't been able to go faster than him. Let me know when your timing, by the way, is sorted.
It's fixed. It's fixed.
Oh, there we go.
So I reckon I can see dry lines appearing. Someone's gonna risk it for dries. I reckon, as Ricardo is about to absolutely shatter what Verstappen did in part 1 of qualifying to 1:57.687. The track improving every single second as Lando Norris also on faster times. Look, it's looking dry. There's a little bit of spray in the air coming through Blanchimont, but there's a dry line.
You always get that though.
Yeah.
So
I'd
say dries in Q3 definitely. Someone maybe risks it in this session.
In the next 5 minutes, I reckon they'll do this lap, get out, come back in again and do it again. But it's such a tight turnaround. You've got to be committed. It's the longest lap on the calendar, which means, as Norris has a 1:56.828, it's a 2-minute plus out lap. So you've got to be really committed that you can get it sorted. And 8 minutes is a third part of qualifying. That's about what? I think it's about 1 lap, isn't it? Maybe 2. It's not that long of a session to get multiple runs in.
Yep. Really isn't Lewis Hamilton now on a lap? What's his first sector time looking like? He's going to be up, but I mean, obviously the track is improving quite a bit and it improves by every second. And yeah, you kind of might think, well, 1 second is still quite a bit, but it is improving. Yellows,
Sector 3.
Sargent maybe. Is it Sargent? Could be Logan Sargent.
Yes, it is. Sargent's off the track, and I believe...
As he beats it.
Yeah, it's down at Stavolo, and now Cote Poffret is running slowly as well, and he's spun it, yeah.
So he is. Well, he's continuing. So he's not beached it. That's good news. Can he get it back to the pits? So it looks like he's just had a spin. Maybe off the racing line entirely. We might just put a tyre on a bit of the wet. Remember, there is a dry line forming, but if you get off that dry line, you could find yourself with a mistake if you just go on the circuit. Spray's still there. As you can see, Hamilton kicking it up as he comes to the end of the second sector now. We're about to see what the second sector time looking like. I think he's going to be miles quicker than what Norris has managed. Well, he's lost some time. He's lost about 2 tenths from what he managed in the first sector. But yeah, this is going to be interesting now as he's making his way through towards Blanchimont and then to the bus stop chicane.
So Hamilton's second sector delta is a 52.472. So it might just be a little bit off the pace as he comes towards the braking zone, lightly touching the throttle. Ocon a 1:57.051 on the delta. And it's literally so dry through the bus stop. It's unbelievable. Those intermediate tyres are going to be begging for water. Hamilton does a 1:55.823, 3 tenths quicker than Gasly, who went fastest a few moments ago. Now look, immediately Hamilton taking the wet lines, and this is how Sargent went off the track at Stavolo.
So what is going to happen here? He's going to get on the power. He's over the curb massively. So I guess, is it just off the racing out? Oh, well, we didn't catch that way. Oh, he's very wide. He's wide. He's very wide there. It looks like he's just gone a bit wide. And onboard would be good, but then a bit of a 360, and then he actually stays there for quite a while as he tries to probably find gear and then gets going. This is what happened to Russell. Down at Brewster. Is it just going to be a wide moment? Yeah, just fully up the circuit. Oh, wow. Well, he kept in a straight line, just about. Well, he would have had a similar moment to Sargent. That's the Red Bull. Now, what's happened to the top?
155.2. Hamilton looking better with his deltas as well. No, he's backed off. So everyone's backed off. Look at the time screen. So everybody now has just full on pulled the throttle and lifted it as they run down. So there's traffic now. So 2 minutes. They're sticking with. Oh, hello, Stroll. He's braved it. Medium compound tyres.
Oh.
Well, of course you can only use mediums in qualifying 2 as a dry tyre. You can't use any other. It's hards Q1, mediums Q2, softs Q3. They're the mandatory tyres for sprint races.
Well, if it's declared a wet circuit, then isn't it a bit of free of choice, like we had in Austria on the sprint shootout? Stroll?
Yeah, that's too early.
It's just there's a couple of...
Yeah, he says it's too early. And that's cost him it. So that's it. Stroll went for the gamble. Do a lap. Don't box slants. Do a lap. Do a proper run. It will get better.
Don't veer.
Okay, Lance, we've committed to this. We've got to go.
Yeah, I agree. You've got to go because the track's going to get better lap after lap. So just push. Just see what you can do. Look, you've just gone to 13th place already with the delta times. So into turn 1. It's a wet exit line. So now, as soon as you get to the dry, put your foot flat down. That's it. Good lad. Down the hill. Now Eau Rouge has got a dry line, so just stay committed. And he lifted a bit at the top of the hill at Ranion as well. Down the Camel Straight. DRS won't be active, but you'll be faster down this straight with a straight line. 32.521 for Verstappen first sector. Stroll's first delta is only 8/10 down. That's enough. So the track is now at the crossover point. Very wet coming through the first half of the comms, but keep your foot down, Lance. Go on. There's dry lines. The track will be there. The grip will be there. Into the bottom of the hill. We're into Ravage. Grip on the outside. Light on the throttle. Now there's a little bit of dry. As soon as you see the dry, hit it. Into Speaker's corner. He's lost it, and he's in the wall.
And he's in the wall.
Oh!
That was always going to happen. As soon as you get off the racing line, he finds the wall and red flags out. The session will not resume. So it'll be Ricardo, Albon, Sargent, Stroll, and Alonso as well who goes out.
He's cost Alonso.
Stroll,
He's cost Alonso, his own teammate.
Yeah.
He went too early in the apex of the corner. He was on the throttle midway through, and it was still wet. That's a stupid mistake from Lance. I'm not a racing driver, but I saw that coming. I knew you don't pull the full throttle. He was turning in the wet on dry tyres and had the accelerator on. That's not what you do. He needed to wait till the exit in the corner, let the momentum carry you through at the exit, then pull the throttle down. He did it completely the wrong way round. That's a stupid mistake from Lance on tyres that were the best in the conditions. He was quick. And SQ2 will not be resumed. So that's Ricardo, Albon, Sargent, Stroll and Alonso out. Because Stroll couldn't keep it on the track. Look, he was fine in this part of the track. Down here, look, it's all dry, so he's braking, keeps it on the track, turns in, the grip is there. You may be alarmed about the water, but it's psychological. Look, there's the grip at the exit. Get your throttle down, lift, turn in. Now listen, hit the throttle, and as soon as that happened, the rear stepped out and he overcorrected it and hits the wall. That was him that was him being too early. Was it? Oh. That's really disrupted the grid now. Russell's through again by the skin of his teeth, but only the top 10 set deltas. Nobody else got a lap in. So that would really annoy the Williams, who were on for a top 10.
It would have been great to see Sargent in the top 10. Alonso goes out. He's been in Q3 so much time this season. Oh, Alonso.
Okay, the session will not be restarted. Right, we're out.
Yeah, he can't say anything, can he? But I bet he's saying, what an idiot.
Yeah, Stroll, I mean, he could have gone on the softs. And obviously, yeah, And obviously, yes, it's mandatory medium for Q1 and
But
for SQ1 and SQ2.
right.
However,
You could've done it.
it's declared a wet track.
Yeah.
It was declared a wet track. So like Austria, everyone went on soft in SQ1 and SQ2. You should have
right.
soft tires lessons from Albon first.
Okay. I think we had to do what we had to do. Anyway, I didn't expect anyone to do mediums though.
And should Lance Stroll have been on?
The Aston Martin crew in for a long night. We've got a sprint race later. Don't forget that. They've got to fix that.
I mean, I really doubt they really care about the sprint. I don't think they're gonna really bother. They'll relax and he can miss the sprint. I think that's what's gonna go on with that. But he has tires also. He has tires from because it was Inter's. It was Inter's for a lot of yesterday as well. So he has tires. He has some extra softs, and yeah, he could have just maybe used one if he really wanted to. But obviously he needs some in SQ3 as well. But I guess one of the mediums where it does take a bit more to fire those mediums up. But yeah, he finds himself out. But I'll let you confirm the results.
So Q2 ends a bit prematurely thanks to Lance Stroll not knowing the throttle works both ways. Ricciardo, Albon, Sargent, Stroll and Alonso eliminated. The top 10 for SQ3 will see Verstappen, Hamilton, Perez, Gasly, Leclerc, Piastri, Sainz, Norris, Ocon and Russell. I love how we went through the first half of that praising him for what a brilliant job he was doing, and then he screws it up. It really annoys me. Really annoys me.
Yeah, I think the TV directors were also expecting him to crash. That's why we just kept on it for the whole thing.
Yeah, it was obvious where it was coming from, wasn't it? Like, we were seeing it on the board, but my God. Well, red flag out again, as we'll wait to see what will change, and whatever will be, I suppose, is the mantra we now take from this very confusing session, with not all information delted. But still, it will be Verstappen P1 once again in this session. Do you reckon he could take it all the way here?
It's going to be super, super interesting to see if anyone can actually get close to Verstappen. But, yeah, it does look like we might see maybe some shocks. Maybe if Verstappen doesn't get the tyres fired up, we could see some people actually going on the softs. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. But I would have absolutely loved if we had a one-shot quali for this format. But however, it would be a bit annoying this time. It wouldn't really work in this kind of session because obviously of the way, because it just makes it far too unfair. So probably for the format, what I'd like is one shot when it's fully dry. But if it's declared a wet track, then have this format on backup, I'd say maybe.
I agree. I do agree on that one. But we should have sprint shootout singles.
Yeah.
I wonder if that might get brought up now because it's disadvantaged so much for Fernando and everybody else who hasn't got a lap time in because somebody couldn't do it. So annoying. Anyway, let's hand it back over to Sky as we wait for SQ3 to be resumed.
So that's the scene down at the no-name corner, and we continue to call it the no-name corner because Jackie X, who unofficially is the recipient of that corner name, says no, it's not my corner at all. It's not the Jackie X corner. It's not officially been named after me. It's still the no-name corner as far as he's concerned. So we'll carry on with that. But they're clearing away the debris after Lance Stroll's car, his Aston Martin, went on into the barrier. Now, we did wonder, Martin, why he wasn't on the soft compound tyre. And we thought he could well have been on the soft compound tyre because that would be the grippiest tyre for that particular instance that might see you through. But because the FIA Race Control never officially declared the track wet for this qualifying session, normal rules had to be in place, even though we used the intermediate tyres for the first part of it. Had they declared the track wet, then there would have been that free choice. But I didn't see it on our timing screen, and thank you very much to the Aston Martin pit wall for pointing this one out. They were bound by the rules that say you had to fit mediums.
New medium tyres, that's what the rules say in SQ1 and SQ2. Good information.
So thank you to them, and well done to that man on the motorbike who's got Lance Stroll back to the paddock. And Anthony Davidson, well done to you for braving the sunshine. Oh, the jacket's gone now.
It has indeed, Crofty, yeah. Now, the reason why they were all getting the slick running ready, Stroll was was the brave one to go out there on the mediums, is because of this. On board with Lewis Hamilton, look, he's on the intermediates and he's purposely driving off of the dry line to try and momentarily ease the tyre temperature, and he does it again on the exit at turn 17 as well. So that's what it was in all of their minds. Look, this is getting drier and drier. At some point, we're going to need to be on the slicks. So this was in the last couple of seconds before these drivers were starting their lap, running with all this Charles Leclerc. He's got Fernando Alonso in front of him. Obviously one of the drivers that didn't make it through, but look at the traffic jam that they're in. So I don't know whether these drivers would have had the clear lap that they would have wanted necessarily anyway as they work their way down towards that final chicane. So yeah, just an example of how busy things were getting at the end of that session there.
Weren't they just? At the end of the day, it wasn't relevant because Lance Stroll's crash brought an early end to that particular session. And SQ3, the final parts of this sprint qualifying will now start at 1:15. So
yeah, an hour and 15-minute delay, which means it's going to be one of the longest sprint qualifyings we've had so far this season, Omi. You just don't know what to say anymore, do you? It's sort of getting a little bit silly, all this.
It is getting a bit silly, especially as Crofty was pointing that out. Looked like Sky also said the same thing as us, but Aston Martin then, I guess, corrected them with that. But in my opinion, it's a bit stupid once again. Then, like in Austria they were allowed, and here they aren't. But it still was a wet track though. In SQ1, it was declared a wet track, so it's very confusing with all of the ruling and all of the stuff. I think they just need to make it more simpler. And if it's declared a wet track in the qualifying session, then just have it fully. So, yeah, just very confusing.
Yeah, it really is confusing. 2 minutes 30, guys. Going to say.
And I can understand that any viewers sitting at home on the sofa on a nice Saturday morning watching their telly and hearing you recount that story, Crofty, about how the FIA forgot to say wet track, might think, are you having a laugh? It was chucking it down. We even had a 20-minute break for the FIA to say, oh, we should probably put that message out about wet track. But they're right. Aston's right. It started off, race control even put a message out saying the risk of rain for the F1 sprint shootout is 100%. But they didn't put out, they even had time to put a message out saying that the pink foam on the headrests should be used.
As opposed to
blue, because it changes according to the temperature. But they didn't put out an official notification that it was a wet track. Unbelievable.
Which means if you don't, then you have to go to the teams have to go. Yeah, they have to go to the rules for the sprint shootout, which is medium for the first part, medium for the second part, soft for the third part.
Did none of the clever people on the pit wall say, Mr. Vittich, sir, would you like to put that on? Did they not?
Well, you're not allowed to do that. That's
you can ask a question. Why haven't you declared the?
You can ask a question, but that's trying to persuade a race director to.
I think we're on fairly
to do something.
Yeah, but I think we're on fairly safe ground with this one.
Yeah.
Slicks on Lando. I can't see you can go at anything other than on slick tyres, despite the disastrous incident there for Lance Stroll.
But the other reason for Stroll, Martin, was that he only had one new set of inters left. He'd used them all yesterday.
Oh my, yeah, that's true. I didn't think of that actually. So but you do get another set of inters ahead of today's session. That's something that was always sort of in the plan basis. So he could have done that. He could have let it go.
But yeah, so FIA mistake then for not putting wet track and let's not get into it or my mind is going to explode. Instead, let's enjoy SQ3.
Yeah, 8 minutes, so it's going to be one of the quickest sessions of the weekend because it's it's in total, one run around here takes around about 6 minutes. So I don't think they're going to be straight out there, you know. They're going to wait for the best of the conditions. So we're going to go green. Now, SQ3 is underway, but nobody's going to go out there just yet because you only have enough time for one run. 8 minutes, an out lap, a fast lap, and an in lap is around about 6 minutes here at Spa. So I reckon they could do multiple runs on that without pitting, same tyre. That's what Leclerc's going to do. And again, what a surprise. Ferrari have gone out first. McLaren going to join them. So is this a good idea? Is it a bad idea? Alpine 2. So here we go. Verstappen, Hamilton, Perez, Gasly, Leclerc, Piastri, Sainz, Norris, Ocon and Russell going out there. Fingers crossed, Omi, we're not going to be in for an absolute mess.
Fingers crossed indeed, but do you want to be the first car over the line though, especially in these conditions? You don't really want to be the first car across the line. So whoever does go out last, if they're doing 2 runs, then it does depend how you time it. If you time it to perfection, where you can start a second push lap right with a few seconds to go, then that works out brilliantly for you. But I would say it could be last car across the line if everyone does get 2 runs. But if it's only 1 run, then really same thing. Last car across the line. Might have it because they have the best of the track conditions, and the Ferraris already making their way to Le Mans, while the Red Bulls head to the pit lane exit now and about to go on to the circuit. So gonna be interesting. But yeah, SQ3 usually flies by, and it's gonna fly by even more. But it's gonna be a very interesting one.
Yeah. So 6 minutes, look, and they're coasting around. So they will do the least amount of tyre temp they could do in the first 2 sectors, get them really heated up in sector 3 and then just go for it. Just look at that, the 2 Red Bulls are on their own on the track right now. And is it dry? Well, everyone's gone out there on softs. Everybody.
Yeah.
So they want to risk it. They were waiting for it, couldn't they? So we had to use medium compounds in Q2, like you have to use hards Q1, mediums Q2, softs Q3. But this now is what they've been waiting for. Best of the conditions. But is there more rain coming? Because I'm seeing clouds down at Stavolo, where Lando Norris is right now. Yes, look, there's clouds brewing up. But there's Fanion, Stavolo just after. They all look identical at this part of the tracks. It's hard to tell.
Probably for the F2. Probably for the F2 might come in.
Oh, great.
It loves changing. It loves changing, doesn't it? Right, on board with Leclerc. He'll be the first driver to begin his push lap. So what is he going to be able to do? We'll lead the field away tomorrow in the race after Verstappen's 5-place grid penalty. But who will lead them away later on today? We're about to find out as Leclerc makes his way right to the end of this lap, about to push, ends his out lap, and then brakes early a tiny bit, make sure those tyres are fully up to temperature, then foot to the floor as he begins his lap down towards La Source.
He lifted off quite a lot, didn't he, at the last corner? So I hope he's got temperature when he hits the brakes. He's on soft, into La Source, turns in, hits the apex. The track is drying an awful lot. It doesn't look... I'm seeing more dry patches than wet patches now, which is great news for the tyre temps. Through Rouge the first time. Look, it's offline. It's really wet. He kept it full throttle. Well done, Charles. He's really not afraid of anything. DRS still disabled, though.
Yep, still is disabled. What's the first sector time looking like for Leclerc? 32.0. What about his teammate Sainz? We're about to get the comparison as Sainz about to come to the end of the first sector time as well. 32.076. So it is oh so tight as well between the Ferraris. But how the second sector is going to look, we're about to find out. Leclerc takes the car out wide, then back on the power, about to go into no name. Then once again, you want to get on the power, but you got to be careful on the power. You don't want to get on it too early. You could find yourself in the gravel, like we saw a bit earlier on and in yesterday's qualifying session. Then you got to be careful not to get on the wet patch, or you could lose the car through. You go poo on, and then heading into the second sector, a lot of these fast corners where the lap can be won or lost. Hamilton going quickest though through the first part of the lap. He's more behind, so it's going to be interesting to see now. Leclerc making his way to the about to go onto the back straight through turn 14, back on the power. What's the second sector time looking like? It's currently he's purple, but there's more drivers coming behind. We're about to see what Sainz can do through the second sector compared to his teammate. And then, so Sainz a tiny bit more down. So Sainz might have made a mistake as well through the second sector. But here we go with Leclerc through Blanchimon and going into the bus stop.
This could be the only lap time they get. They might just have enough time for a really quick cool down, then go for another run. But the best of the conditions will be at the end of the session with these soft tyres. Across the line then, Charles Leclerc, our first benchmark, it's a 1:52.525, by far the quickest we've seen so far this weekend. Into the last 2 corners then, here comes Sainz, he goes second to 1:55.3. So he's way off the pace now. Lando Norris is looking personal best across the line. Lando to the top. 9/10 clear to 1:51.546. Really strong time. Hamilton is looking good. Fast sector 1. Okay, sector 2. Verstappen is not improving either. So can Hamilton take a sprint race pole position as he fires up to the line? Is he quicker or not? Yes! 1:51.198 for Lewis Hamilton. Ocon's P7, here's Verstappen into the last two corners, hits the accelerator. Is he quick? Verstappen's only second on the first running round. He's 88 thousandths off the pace. And Amy, that's big, big, big news. And Jos the boss is turning red with anger.
Turning red with anger indeed. Currently we have Perez going into 8th position, but could we see one more lap maybe by Leclerc or a few of the other drivers? Hamilton though currently has P1. Verstappen, he was further back, he would have been getting the best of the track conditions. I wouldn't be surprised if he maybe made a little bit of a mistake, because Hamilton right in there. But what a lap by Lewis Hamilton. He could be on his way to his first sprint shootout pole position, and especially after last weekend took it in Budapest. But it could be a sprint shootout pole for Hamilton, and we're going to see, is anyone still going to push? Is anyone going to go for another push lap? We have Esteban Ocon coming on a lap, but there's other drivers. Yeah, he was all out of shape as well on the exit, but there's a lot of other drivers who aren't on laps. They're on backoffs now, so Ocon and Russell need to find a bit of clean space as well, as they're now pushing, and they're really hoping that everyone else gets out of the way.
Yep, we've got Russell just past Hamilton. He's approaching Piastri and Norris according to the timing screens as well. Perez ahead of Verstappen at the moment. They're doing a cool down up, and I suppose you really can cool down the tyres a lot better now, because there's still wet patches at the exterior of the track, so just run through there. Ocon getting a little bit of a block there from Charles Leclerc. Carlos Sainz was just ahead of him as well, so that has not helped Ocon as he rounds Blanchimont. We've got a minute left, so everyone's going to have another lap time. Ocon, this is his only run. The same goes, actually, for Perez. Perez is up by 1.7 seconds. Russell 2. Gasly goes into 8th, the 156.5. Here's Verstappen.
Now pick up the pace, Max. We don't have much margin. You need to pick up the pace.
Yeah, he's down at Blanchimont with 35 seconds to go. Ocon goes 4th. Perez, though,
And
might just take it. Yeah.
There's a lot of traffic.
Oh, and Perez is massively blocked. Perez is massively compromised coming into the last corner. They've all done their best to get out of the way, but that's certainly going to be investigated. But it doesn't matter. Perez is still fastest at 150.303. Oh, Perez, you're back to your old self. And now look, 10 seconds to go. Is Max going to get across the line? 7, 6, 5, 4. He does. But that's it.
Done it.
Checkered flag is out, so this is the last run. So Max, crucially, will be the last one across the line. The best of the conditions are his to maximise against the sprint. Look at the spray from Leclerc, who's up in the first sector.
Yeah, it looks like Russell might have given Hamilton a toe. We're just looking at the driver track, and Russell might have given Hamilton a toe. That could be good for Lewis Hamilton as well, but he might have got a tiny bit blocked in the first lap, but looks like he's managed to get through. They were also close together, trying to get on with their lap times, but Verstappen was so close. A few more seconds, and it would have been wide. Leclerc was wide there. Leclerc was wide. Gasly is coming in finding time. Watch Gasly now, as he is absolutely electric in the second sector. This one isn't over yet. This one could go to anyone.
It's going to be literally anybody's guess as they continue through. Gasly swings out of the last two corners into Blanchimont, then into the bus stop chicane. Leclerc's fastest first sector. He's coming up to sector 2. Gasly's second sector time now taken by Esteban Ocon. So it's going to improve. Gasly across the line, and Gasly goes provisional pole for the F1 sprint. 1:49.7. That's the time to beat. Leclerc might just do that. Piastri too. All eyes on Max Verstappen. His first sector time is down. And he could still go faster. Sainz now coming out the last corner. Sainz takes the line. Sainz goes fastest. Overall, Leclerc looking strong too. Sainz at 1:49.081. Leclerc does a 1:49.2. Sainz on provisional pole. Norris only 3rd. Perez 4th. Oscar Piastri to take pole position. Why not? Across the line. And he's done it. 14 thousandths quicker. Piastri on provisional pole. But here's Max Verstappen. And he takes it by 11 thousandths of a second across the line. Max Verstappen has another sprint pole position. But he only got it in the last sector. 11 thousandths of a second faster than Piastri, 25 thousandths faster than Sainz. The top 3 separated by that much of 25 thousandths. Beautiful session.
It's always in the last sector that Max Verstappen takes it away, and he was slower than Lando Norris by quite a few tenths in the first and second sector. So he really turned it around, and obviously it's the third sector, always for Max Verstappen that saves him, and he's taken pole by 11 thousandths. 25 thousandths back to Carlos Sainz. It's going to be a very interesting sprint race coming up. I'm hoping Piastri can get past Verstappen, and maybe the two Ferraris can kind of battle away with Verstappen as well. Would give us a very interesting sprint.
That's a sprint pole.
Oh, simply lovely.
Well, I mean, that was just by 100th of a second there. Very, very good. Well done.
Yeah, not easy with this weather. You don't want to take too much risk, you know. It's easy to then lose a lot of lap time.
Yeah, Max will sound like he's on a chat show right now. Not the end of a qualifying. A sprint pole is his. Once again. To go with his 28th pole he got yesterday. He got demoted though. Starts sixth on the grid for tomorrow's race. Does Max Verstappen? He will start though on pole position for the sprint. And tomorrow Max will be leading by about turn 3 anyway. So who cares?
Yeah, who cares indeed. Well, that's the end to the sprint shootout.
That's it for Piastri.
Yeah.
And that is P2, Oscar. P2. Great job. Great qualifying, though. Brilliant. P2's mega, mate, but you'll be frustrated to know that Verstappen is only 11 milliseconds ahead.
Well, there you go. Thanks, everyone. There wasn't much left in that lap. Probably 11 milliseconds, but yeah, well done, everyone. Cheers for that. Thank you.
Tom was saying, on the
Piastri,
driving track,
fantastic.
Jenson Button.
Say again?
Piastri has been fantastic this season. Rookie year, already the rookie of the year. Absolutely incredible Piastri. He's really taking the fight to Norris. Norris, the one who described as the future to drivers like Leclerc, Verstappen, Russell, and Piastri's been beating Norris. So Piastri really doing well, and I would love if Piastri can win the sprint. That would be fantastic.
Double yellow, sector 11. Interesting.
They've all made it back though. So
Yeah,
unless
they
it's debut
have.
or something.
Yeah, not
maybe.
too sure about that one. But I just had to point out we're going to have to go off here soon because we've got Formula 2 and Formula E. Because Formula 2 is off in what, 10 minutes time?
I'll check if there's any delays, by the way.
Yeah.
Just to, you know.
Because this.
But I guess it would only be a 10-minute delay or something. I mean, are they going to delay it even more? I'll check.
It'll be something silly, won't it? It's not that big delayed. Double yellows out. They're cleaning the track now, by the way. That's what they're doing with all the yellows.
It's really only going to be Sky who's going to be crying that they don't get to talk about the sprint shootout too much. Now, on board with Lewis Hamilton we go towards Thomas. As I said, he was right glued up to behind Russell. So did he lose some time also? Oh, Russell locked up. That's not helpful at all. That's not helpful at all. Russell locked up, and then he is going to get a bit of a slipstream, but that hampered Hamilton to the first sector. And as I was mentioning, he really started that very close, but he did get a tiny bit of assistance. But once again, having to back out, he lost some time compared to Russell. Then he got in the slipstream, but he lost a lot. Oh, he was trying to go to the outside, then went to the inside. So he did get a bit of a slipstream, but I mean, he lost more time than he probably gained in that occasion.
Seems Max walking in as they will take it through. Fingers crossed it's going to be a quick session to end it, and then we'll hear from them, and then we'll get going. Go on.
Nick Hamilton has withdrawn from the Croft race weekend.
Yes, did see that, which was weird. Really is weird, that one. Right, we're going to have to disappear soon as well. This is really bad because we've got FE starting soon and F2, and we need to prep for that. Piastri getting a big cheer though.
Yeah.
I
want to see. Yeah, I want to see Leclerc's turn 9 again because they cut away to Gasly, which was fine because he was going faster. But it did look like Leclerc was a bit wide at turn 9, so I want to see that one. Hopefully we'll get a replay, but Sky are going to be absolutely crying that they will need to that obviously Formula 2 is going to be happening, so they don't get too much time to waffle.
Yeah.
I can already tell they're going to be cutting off the podium. I already know they're going to be cutting off the podium in frustration.
Yeah, I know that too. It's sort of inevitable, isn't it? As they come through.
Right, let me find F2 now.
Yeah, we hope that it's not delayed too much. Right, let's hear for the top 3 down there with Naomi Schiff.
Is down with a microphone in his hands to speak to Naomi Schiff in Park Fermé.
Max Verstappen, you are a second-time sprint shootout winner this season so far. How tricky were the conditions out there today?
Yeah, it was pretty difficult. I mean, bit similar, you know, it was quite similar to yesterday. Now it was just a little bit later into qualifying that you could go to the slick tires, but yeah, I think we stayed calm. The gap was not as big as yesterday, but there was also no need to, to risk it all. Probably my second sector was a bit careful, but still on pole, that's what counts.
Yesterday you mentioned it was quite tricky to find exactly the right line. Just how was that today? Because it seemed a lot drier in that third part of the shootout.
Yeah, it was getting better and better, but still turn 8, 9 was super slippery. So I guess I left a bit of time on the table there, but it's okay. Let's see, of course, again in the afternoon if it's going to rain again, but it's good, to have, again, a clean end to qualifying.
Seems like there's going to be a lot of rain coming before the race later today. So what is your mindset going into the sprint race today?
Try to have a good start, and we have clear vision as well. I think that's going to be very important if it's wet.
Fantastic. Well, we wish you the best of luck. Thank you.
Okay, that's all we've got time for then. We've got to dash off to get to Formula 2. Max Verstappen is victorious. My thanks to Romy and Josh T. We'll see you soon later on for the race. Bye-bye.